Do you find yourself staring at the ceiling night after night, right around the same time? Maybe the clock on your nightstand says 3 a.m. or 3:30 or somewhere close to it. You didn't mean to wake up, but there you are, wide awake, and try as you might. Falling back asleep feels impossible. It's frustrating. Isn't it you went to bed tired, hoping for a full night of rest? And then this happens. It's like clockwork, almost eerie how consistent it can be. And the worst part, you know what's coming next. A day dragging by, feeling groggy, maybe a little irritable, and just not quite yourself. You might wonder if this is just part of getting older, something you have to accept. You might think you have plain old insomnia, and maybe you do. But the reason you keep hitting that specific hour could be something you haven't considered. It's not just about being awake, it's about why that particular time calls to you. There's a hidden pattern here, a signal your body might be sending, and the answer isn't always the obvious one. In this video, we're going to uncover some of these surprising reasons why 3 a.m. seems to be your body's chosen wake-up call and, more importantly, simple, gentle ways you can encourage yourself to sleep right through it. We'll explore some common triggers you might be overlooking and practical steps you can take starting today. You deserve restful, uninterrupted sleep. Don't go anywhere because if you struggle with this, what we're about to discuss could truly change your nights. And watching to the end might just surprise you with a simple shift that makes all the difference. Let's dive into this because understanding why is the first step to changing it. One incredibly common and often overlooked reason people find themselves wide awake in the middle of the night, especially around that 3 a.m. mark, relates to something called blood sugar. Now, you might not think of your blood sugar as a sleep disruptor unless you have diabetes, but even subtle fluctuations can send signals to your brain that wake you up. Think about what happens during the day. When your blood sugar drops a bit too low, you might feel shaky, irritable, or hungry. Right. Well, the same thing can happen while you're sleeping. If your blood sugar levels dip significantly in the middle of the night, your body has an emergency response. It releases stress hormones, like adrenaline and cortisol, to try and raise your blood sugar back up. These hormones are designed to wake you up, make you alert, and signal that something needs attention, like finding food. And guess what? This often happens a few hours after your last meal or snack, which, for many, could fall right into that 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. window if you had dinner around 7 or 8 p.m. So, how does this happen? It can be linked to what you eat, especially in the hours leading up to bedtime. A large meal, particularly one high in refined carbohydrates or sugar, can cause a rapid rise in blood sugar followed by a crash a few hours later. Imagine having a big bowl of pasta or a sweet dessert relatively close to when you go to bed. Your body works hard to process that sugar, perhaps even overcompensating, leading to that later dip. Or maybe you have a late-night snack that's sugary or processed. This can trigger a similar roller coaster. What can you do about it? It's not about going to bed hungry, which can also cause blood sugar issues, but about being mindful of what and when you eat in the evening. Aim to have your last substantial meal a few hours before bedtime, ideally 3 to 4 hours. If you need a snack closer to bed, choose something small and balanced, something that combines a little protein, healthy fat, and complex carbohydrate. Think a small handful of nuts, a few slices of apple with a bit of cheese, or a small serving of plain yogurt with a few berries. These combinations help stabilize blood sugar rather than sending it on a spike and crash trajectory. Avoiding sugary drinks, excessive caffeine, and alcohol in the evening is also crucial, as they can all play havoc with your blood sugar and your sleep architecture. Alcohol, for instance, might make you feel sleepy initially, but as your body processes it, it can disrupt the later, more restorative stages of sleep and often leads to waking a few hours in, potentially linked to blood sugar fluctuations as the liver is busy processing alcohol instead of managing glucose. Another aspect often tied to this 3 a.m. waking and one that often goes hand in hand with the blood sugar issue, or even stands alone, is the role of stress and anxiety. We live in uncertain times, and even if you don't feel overtly anxious during the day, worries can have a way of surfacing when everything else is quiet and dark. That middle of the night waking is a prime time for the mind to start racing. Did I remember to do that thing? What about that appointment next week? Why did so-and-so say that? All those thoughts that you might push away or distract yourself from during the day suddenly have free rein. This mental activity triggers the release of those same stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. Cortisol, in particular, is part of your body's natural wake-up system, meant to be higher in the morning to help you get going. But if it surges in the middle of the night due to stress or worry, it's like your body gets a false signal that it's time to be alert. This creates a vicious cycle. You wake up, you start worrying about why you're awake, which makes you more stressed, which makes it harder to fall back asleep. The quiet darkness can amplify worries, making them feel bigger and more overwhelming than they might during the day. This isn't just about major life crises. It can be everyday stresses, small annoyances, or just a general feeling of unease. For many people over 60, there can be unique stressors, concerns about health, finances, family, or even just adjusting to changes in routine or lifestyle. These aren't small things, and acknowledging their impact is important. What's the gentle approach here? It's about finding ways to quiet the mind before bed and having a plan for when you do wake up. Establishing a relaxing bedtime routine is paramount. This isn't just for kids. It signals to your body that it's time to wind down. This could be reading a physical book not on a screen, listening to calm music or a podcast, doing some gentle stretching or yoga, or practicing meditation or deep breathing exercises. Even just 10 or 15 minutes dedicated to quiet relaxation can make a difference. If worries are a constant theme, writing them down an hour or two before bed can help. Get them out of your head and onto paper. This acts as a release and postpones the thinking time until the next day. If you do wake up at 3 a.m. and your mind starts racing, the worst thing you can do is lie there getting frustrated and tangled in your thoughts. This reinforces the connection between your bed and being awake and stressed. Instead, after about 15-20 minutes of trying gently to fall back asleep, get out of bed. Go to another room. Keep the lights low. Bright light tells your brain it's morning. And do something quiet and non-stimulating. Read something calm. Listen to quiet music. Do a simple puzzle. The idea is to break the cycle of lying in bed feeling anxious about being awake. Only return to bed when you feel genuinely sleepy again. This teaches your brain that the bed is for sleeping, not for worrying or being frustrated. It takes practice, but it's a powerful technique. So, between managing those blood sugar dips and gently addressing the midnight mind chatter, these are significant pieces of the puzzle. But there's more to consider that might be playing a role in those early morning wake-ups. Moving beyond blood sugar and stress, let's talk about another common culprit that might be waking you up at that specific time. And it's something incredibly basic: hydration and bathroom trips. Needing to get up to use the bathroom, known as nocturia, is very common as we get older. Our bladders may not hold as much as they used to, and our kidneys might process fluids differently. While the need to urinate is the direct reason you're out of bed, the question is, why does it often happen around 3 a.m.? And why is it so hard to fall back asleep afterward? Sometimes, the timing is simply a matter of when you last drank fluids. If you're drinking a lot of water, tea, or other beverages in the evening, especially close to bedtime, your bladder will naturally fill up a few hours later, right around that 3 a.m. mark. The simple fix here is to manage your fluid intake in the late afternoon and evening. Make sure you stay well hydrated throughout the day, so you're not feeling parched and gulping down water in the hours before bed. Try to front-load your hydration earlier in the day and reduce fluid intake in the 2 to 3 hours before you plan to go to sleep. Of course, don't dehydrate yourself, but be mindful of volume close to bedtime. However, sometimes it's not just the volume of fluid, It's the type of fluid. Diuretics like caffeine and alcohol can increase urine production. So, that evening cup of tea, if it's caffeinated, or glass of wine, might be setting you up for a 3 a.m. bathroom visit. Limiting these in the evening is a good strategy not just for bladder reasons but also for overall sleep quality. As we touched on with blood sugar and stress, beyond just the bathroom trip itself, the act of getting out of bed, walking to the bathroom, and turning on lights can fully wake you up. Even dim lights can signal to your brain that it's time to be alert. This is why it's so important to use the dimmest light possible if you do need to get up in the night, perhaps a small nightlight in the hallway or bathroom, rather than flipping on the main bright light. Once you've taken care of business, try to go straight back to bed without getting sidetracked or allowing your mind to start churning. The less stimulated you are during this brief waking period, the easier it will be to transition back to sleep. But sometimes, the 3 a.m. wake-up call isn't just the bathroom. It's discomfort or pain, joint pain, back pain, restless legs, or other physical discomforts can become more noticeable when you're lying still in bed. During the day, you're moving around, distracted, and perhaps the pain is less prominent. But at night, especially after you've been in one position for a few hours, aches and pains can flare up, pulling you out of sleep. And frustratingly, once you're awake because of discomfort, the pain often feels worse because now you're fully aware of it. Addressing this requires a multifaceted approach, and it's highly individual. It might involve talking to your doctor about pain management strategies that are effective at night. It could also involve gentle stretching or movement earlier in the day to keep joints mobile. Ensuring your mattress and pillows provide adequate support for your body is also critical. Sometimes, a simple change in sleeping position or using supportive pillows can make a big difference. For something like restless leg syndrome, which often flares up in the evening or at night, strategies might include specific exercises, warm baths, or dietary considerations in consultation with a healthcare provider. The key is to identify the source of the discomfort and work on managing it so it's less likely to interrupt your sleep in those early morning hours. Another piece of the puzzle that often surfaces around this age is the impact of medications. Many people over 60 take prescription or over-the-counter medications for various conditions: blood pressure, cholesterol, pain, digestion, and more. Some medications can have side effects that interfere with sleep patterns or cause nighttime waking. For example, some blood pressure medications are diuretics, meaning they increase urination, potentially leading to those 3 a.m. bathroom trips we just discussed. Others might be stimulating or affect neurotransmitters in the brain that regulate sleep. Even the timing of when you take certain medications can matter. Taking a medication that gives you a burst of energy too late in the day, for instance, could contribute to nighttime wakefulness. If you suspect your medication might be affecting your sleep, it's important to talk to your doctor or pharmacist. Never stop taking a prescribed medication without consulting your doctor, but they may be able to adjust the dosage, timing, or switch you to a different medication that is less likely to disrupt your sleep. Keeping a simple sleep diary can be helpful here. Note down when you go to bed, when you wake up, when you take your medications, and any noticeable patterns. This information can be invaluable when discussing the issue with your healthcare provider. These different factors, from hydration timing to pain and medication, all contribute to the complex picture of why that 3 a.m. hour can be so challenging. And understanding them is crucial to finding your personal path to better sleep. So, we've explored some of the surprising reasons why you might be waking up consistently around 3 a.m., from the subtle dance of your blood sugar levels and the unwelcome surge of stress hormones to the practical realities of nighttime hydration and the influence of pain or medication. It's clear that it's rarely just one simple thing. Our bodies are complex systems, and sleep is influenced by so many factors: what we eat, how we feel mentally, our physical comfort, and even the rhythm of our daily lives. The most important takeaway from all of this is that waking up at 3 a.m. isn't necessarily something you just have to accept as a normal part of getting older. While age does bring changes to our sleep architecture, often leading to lighter sleep and earlier natural wake times, consistently waking up distressed and unable to fall back asleep at a specific hour is often a sign that something is out of sync. The answers aren't about drastic overhauls or complicated treatments. They're often found in making small, mindful adjustments to your daily habits and evening routine. Think about it gently. Managing late-night snacks to stabilize blood sugar isn't difficult once you know the impact. Creating a calming bedtime ritual or having a simple plan for what to do if you wake up with a racing mind can feel empowering. Being more strategic about when you drink fluids or finding better ways to manage chronic pain doesn't just improve your sleep, it improves your overall quality of life. And openly discussing concerns about medication side effects with your doctor is simply advocating for your own well-being. It's about becoming a detective for your own sleep. Pay attention to what happens on the days you sleep better or worse. Did you eat differently? Were you more active? Was your evening particularly stressful? Keeping that simple sleep diary we mentioned earlier can really help you connect the dots and identify your personal triggers. Once you have a clearer picture, you can start experimenting with some of the gentle strategies we've discussed. Maybe you try shifting your dinner time slightly earlier. Maybe you dedicate 15 minutes each evening to quiet reading instead of watching TV. Maybe you talk to your doctor about trying a different pillow for your neck pain. Remember, progress isn't always linear. There will be nights that are better than others. And that's okay. The goal isn't necessarily to never wake up in the night. Brief awakenings are normal. But to reduce the frequency and duration of those frustrating 3 a.m. episodes where you can't get back to sleep. It's about building resilience in your sleep so that if you do wake, your body and mind are better equipped to drift back off naturally. You have the power to make changes that can significantly improve your sleep quality. It takes patience and consistency. But the rewards, feeling more rested, having more energy, thinking more clearly, are absolutely worth it. Don't get discouraged if one strategy doesn't work immediately. Sleep is complex, and finding the right combination of adjustments for you might take a little time. The most important thing is to keep trying and to be kind to yourself in the process. Every small step you take towards better sleep is a step towards a healthier, happier you. We hope this conversation has shed some light on why those early morning hours might be challenging and given you some practical ideas to explore. If you've experienced waking at 3 a.m. and found something that helped you, please share it in the comments below. Your experience could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. That tells us we're providing valuable information. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content aimed at helping you live your best life at every age. We cover all sorts of topics related to health, well-being, and making the most of this wonderful stage of life. Thank you for watching. And here's to many nights of peaceful, uninterrupted sleep. Live your best life at every age.